Just gonna check audio before we get going once again. All right then, hello everybody. Welcome to season 11 of BRL, round 4 here around Montreal. We're just about at the halfway point of the season here with someone who is not racing at the top of the drivers' standings currently. Tyler leading by only 1 point to Rio Harris on 61 and 60 points respectively. We do have P3 in the championship though. Josh now in a Mercedes full-time seat, and he's only 8 points away from Rio Harris. And realistically, we've got quite a few people to be challenged for the driver's title in this next round. Wisburn, 48 points in the Ferrari there, also looking to try and go up. And D-Move, another person, wanting to try and get some more points on the board here. He has not had a podium this season, and he was our previous drivers' champion last season. Yeah, he's on 37 points, and our Henson not far behind him on 35 as well. Everyone here has a shot, technically, of taking the drivers' championship lead, and that is our top 6 currently. Racing Bulls also do still lead the constructors' championship as of now by just 4 points, but McLaren, with one of their drivers missing in Tyler, and only Furnick here for this race, it's looking like Racing Bulls are able to extend the gap once again to McLaren, as they were only 4 points behind beforehand, but it looks like we're going to have a bit more of a gap. Unfortunately, we've only got 15 drivers today, which is a bit concerning, to be honest. We did have 19 drivers, I believe, able to race, but a few either going to join in qualifying. I think one, maybe two will, but yeah, other few haven't answered at all. So, bit annoying. And I've been told it's a partial dry and partial wet race, so this could be very interesting. If we're able to get something like that going in this race, I'd love to see partial dry to partial wet. Let's have a look and see. Anyway, though, at the first laps of the session, Josh, as we've already established, P3 in the Drivers' Championship as of right now. Let's see what he does here into turn 1. Look like he's going quite high in the gears here. I'd have suspected third gear into the first turn, but he goes in fourth. Pretty nice bit on the throttle there, and it's quite easy to validate here going through turn 4 and 5. Will he do it? It's very close, we know, but that is it. Sector 1 is already done. One of the shortest sector 1s on the calendar, and into now turn 7 here, pretty nicely on the curb, and turn 8 looking pretty nice on the throttle there. No snaps that we're seeing right now. He's in quite a bit of battery down this DRS straight through turn 9 and into 10 here. This is one of the hardest sections of the track. Only recently did a Mercedes crash there in 2023, I think, of George Russell, and we're going to now head into hairpin. This is an opportunity for a lot of moves to be made, but obviously right after this, the DRS zone will be another chance to make a lot of moves. So I think we might see some dive into the hairpin, but I think most of the moves are going to be made here. We've seen it in real life, of course, as well, but that, I believe that is a V-Cup there, needs to hurry up, otherwise Josh is going to get blocked by them. Might be a little bit distracted by him, but he's navigated the last chicane pretty well. Obviously want to get as much of a toe off of them as possible, and he's got just that. A 9.1 is a great benchmark at the start. Who will set laps behind? I think there's an Alpine come across the line, but I don't believe they're starting a lap. Furnick here looks like he's on a bad lap. He's not going to go any quicker. Who else is coming in to do laps? I think Jeremy Saff will be the next person. No, Wisburn was, but he's half a second down. Maybe that was the impact of the toe going through the last two straights there for Josh. But let's see, Jeremy's across the line. Very close, all things considered there, without that toe. 109.1, pretty much on the same wavelength as him. Pablos there also 1/10 back only in P3. So it's looking quite nice here so far for the pole battle. Blackbone also invalidating his lap, so he's going to need to go again at some point. And Kade on high note is on a lap, so let's go and watch him. Looking a lot less committed through this section of the track, but obviously if you're a bit less committed, it's so much less likely to go and invalidate your lap. And I think for a first lap, if you just want a lap on the board, it's a good thing to do instead of absolutely sending it and potentially then having your lap ruined especially your first lap, you do want at least some confidence going into the rest of the session. So I think Kadom here just wants to make sure he gets out of the track limits his way. Trying to get a tiny bit of a toe there, I think, from the V card, who's going to come around the final corner again. Yeah, very safe into the final chicane there. Let's see what he does. Has comes across the line with 11.5. Kadom comes across the line 10.7 though. So obviously not last, ahead of Litz and Hazard in terms of people who set the times. What about Fernick over here? 12.8. So he's probably struggling a bit around this track as well. Blackburn looks like he's going for another lap as well. Jimmy Jags also in the Haas. Wanted to go for a lap. Let's see. Who is this ahead of him? I believe that's Blackburn or CJ Drama. But he gets out the way pretty quickly. Yeah, on an invalid lap. So he is not going to go any quicker, at least for the rest of this lap. Jimmy Jags looks like he's going and going and going on his one as well. But let's just wait and see here. It's very easy to validate into these final two corners. So I will never say the lap is over. Oh! And Jimmy Jags crashes into the wall of champions and his car goes up. That was a brilliant bit we've just seen there. Okay, so Jimmy Jags, actually a former champion in BRL, former champion of Tier 2 on our last season of F123, has hit the wall of champions, so it is pretty accurate so far. But this car has just gone flying up onto the final corner, so oh, that was great. Okay. Yeah, Blackburn anyway. Second time he's invalidated his lap. That's on used tyres as well, I believe. May have gone out a set of new ones, but he's invalidated 2 laps here. His teammate, CJ Drama, also does the same. Who else is on the lap? Sorry, I can't stop thinking about that now. Wiswell looks like he just crossed the line, and he did go a few tenths quicker, I believe. Yeah, up into P5, but he didn't really move any other positions. Rio Harris looks like he's also on another lap here. Probably did another recharge lap. I'll punch Cape under the face, says Blackbone. Not sure if he's been blocked by him at all, but blind. Yeah, okay, so he has definitely been blocked. Really not happy with that one either, but yeah, Blackburn regardless. Still has 12 minutes to improve in this session, so he definitely has at least some time to go and recover. What he might feel is just some idiotic stuff. But yeah, looks like we've still got 15 drivers, maybe 1 or 2 people once again going to join later on in the session. That was a nice bit of corner there by Rio Harris, and he, yeah, very frustrated there. That was definitely not losing the car. He's really frustrated with that one. Looked like he was on for a good lap as well, about 2 tenths up going into the final sector, and that is going to put him, well, that would have put him on par for pole, or at the very minimum, I think, the front row there, if he kept that one going. Wisburn also looks like he's just coming back into the pits there, so bit of a chill bit here with just CJ Drama and Skills down setting laps. Let's see, are they going to invalidate here? Keeps well away from the curbs. Ooh, he gets a very bad exit there. That was not great from the Alpine. I think he definitely can get a lot quicker than that. Yeah, 10.4, big golf from the top 5 to P6 at the moment. That is a massive golf at the moment. A 9.3 to 10.4. It does show you just how committed drivers can be at some points in these laps, and how it can just be such a deciding factor in this qualifying session. But at the moment, obviously, still half the qualifying session left. All looks a bit too committed there on entry for CJ Drama, but looks like he's going to head to the line. What is his time going to be? Is he going to be last or not? No, he is ahead of Hazard and Fernick there. So he's not last at the moment as he was just a few moments ago. Even now, actually, is the one that's last. Which, all being considered, after last season, very surprised by that. D-Move is a very quick driver and does still sit 5th in the standings. It's not like a shocker season, but no podium yet, which probably does suck for him, really. Jeremy Saff, down in P10 in the championship, I think he's the lowest driver to achieve a podium in this season, but he has only got them points scored by that podium. Obviously 20, 22 and 25 are the top 3 steps of third, second, first, respectively, and yeah, Jeremy Saff currently on the front row, so obviously not things aren't all bad for him, but yeah, he's only got the 1 podium and 1 finish to his name as of now. We'll see if he can change that once he get into the race, but obviously wet weather will be quite hard to deal with for these drivers. Anyway, Josh is on a lap, only 200s down, and it looks like he hasn't really got much ERS for the rest of this lap, but let's see what he does regardless here. Really trying to cut the track limits fine there. Don't want to get grass on the tyres, obviously. Going to really ruin the traction and speed you can get out of some corners. But let's see now, will he try and risk it all into the final section of the track? Looks like he has. That was a very nice cut He knows he's still got about 8 minutes left anyway, but let's see the time. What does Josh get? 10.5 down. I think that toe has helped him quite a lot in that final sector. He needs to be quite a few tenths up in those 2 sectors beforehand if he wants to get even a time similar to his 9.1. But I think Jeremy Sapp has got potential to beat it there, as Litz also went up there into P6. Blackbone also finally getting a good lap on the board there for a P4. Looks like he's also Jeremy Sapp. Let's watch this actually, starting his lap now, because we never know. Well, I was going to say we never know, it could be a pole lap, but no. Immediately validates turn 1, so yeah. Not going to be the pole lap there. Can Wisman maybe set the pole lap as we go on board with him? Well, he's a 10.5 down at the moment, so maybe not just yet. Looks like I think Litz is also on a in lap, I believe, as Kadom goes up to 8, so good improvement from him. Yeah, Litz down on this time by quite a bit. Let's see if Wisburn has gained any time going through this second sector. He was at 0.114 down, and look at that, purple middle sector there, 0.057. Looks like that's Rio Harris there out in front, or a different V-carb, Henson, I think. Yeah, he does not want to give him any tow at all. Rio Harris tries getting as much as he can out of it, but he's not going to get any more help down this straight, except for the raw power of that Ferrari engine. His setup and the final chicane here, he really commits it, and he was very lucky not to do what Jimmy Jags did there. That is going to ruin all the lap time that he had in that, and that is him without an improvement. And I think people are getting a bit too overconfident in that final sector. Oh, and our Henson also touching the grass there, I think, on turn 1. So his braking was completely ruined. Skills down doing his lap as well. Jeremy Sapp, I think, also maybe wants to try and go for a lap. No, he comes into the pits again. So who else are we currently looking at right now? Kadon will take to start a lap or something similar. Fernick also. No, everyone's coming into the pits. So is there anybody even on a proper lap at the moment? Skills down, I believe, is. But 2.5 tenths down. Rio Harris, here we go. We got someone on another lap again. The Alpine gets clean out of the way there as well. I think that was Hazard. But that was a bit of wheel spin there for Rio Harris. Hopefully he does not want to do the same mistake as he did last time. We want to make sure that for his sake that his car is planted through the final 2 corners here. But he wants to make sure he doesn't invalidate it either. Let's have a look here. Round final 2 corners. Really committed, but his car's not very planted through there. And he slows down once again. He doesn't want to complete the lap, which is a bit interesting. Thought he would at least maybe try completing the lap, but no. We 4 lap old softs. Obviously the grip is going to start going away at some point, but Rio Harris really just wanting to get, I guess, used to the track here. I mean, 4 laps on softs. Quite a lot of laps when you really think about it in qualifying. This tyre probably be at 20% by this point. As Skills down there moved up into P8. But I mean, look at this. Hold on, I just want to have a quick look at this, right? So even though there is quite a big gulf to P7 and 8, look how close it is out front at the moment. 200ths, 300ths really, for pole position. And look at that, less than a tenth separating 3rd to 6th. It's looking really nice up there so far, and looking incredibly close. And that's exactly what we need, to be honest. We love close grids, and even if it may not involve half the grid, a great fight for the lead is just what we need as well. And I guess just fights in general. I think it's pretty clear as well. It doesn't really need to be a fight for the lead. We still were in Portimao last time out. I was having absolute tons of fun just watching, I think, the battle for P13 in the end. I think it was with our Henson, Hazard and Kadom, or our Henson, Jimmy and Kadom. One of the two. But yeah, anyway, speaking of Hazard, he is now not last. I don't believe he was, but he was very close to it. And he goes up to P11 ahead of the man he was fighting. I know, definitely, in the final few laps of Portimao, Hazard and Henson were having a nice little fight there. Maybe trying to go for fastest lap, but in the end, Henson did get it. So let's see, who else is starting a lap now? I think Litz has started one. So let's see him as turn 1 as well. We haven't really got too much focus, actually, on the people lower down, so let's just go and give them a bit more attention as everyone else in the top 6. And technically top 7 are not really doing laps anymore, well, at least right now, before the final few minutes of the session. A little bit of a touch of the wall there from Litz, but he gets away with it. Bit of a lock up there on the left front as well, according to the game, but he's all good so far, 10.5 up. I think the gap really here to him and P7 really just makes him want to just put it in P8, really. I think that's likely the highest Litz can go, unless she's got some real big commitment now through these final 2 sectors. Let's have a look. 4.5 tenths up, to be fair. So, I mean, if Wisburn keeps that sort of gains up, I mean, he's got a chance to get it close to P7. But, yeah, looks like he's on for a good P8 finish here once he does the lap. Quite a bit of ERS to use through this final sector as well. So he's got that little bit extra power. Will he be good for the final few corners? Look pretty nice there, actually. Well away from the grass on the outside as well. Let's see what the time is. 6 tenths off in the end. 5/10 improvement. Nice job there from Litz. Solidly in the midfield of this grid. And I think he'll definitely take only a few tenths off Wisburn. Wisburn, great driver in his own right. Already has won a race this season. And also being that close to Rio Harris. Double winner this season as well. Only them two have won. But it's changing a lot in qualifying, really. We're clearly seeing it right now. Kadam also setting a purple middle sector, if that's correct. That's ridiculous stuff. Ridiculous stuff there from Kadam. 22-0. Could have been. 22-0. He's damn close, I'll put it that. Oh, never mind. 21-7 from Demu. But in all fairness to him, pretty damn quick in that middle sector from Kadam. Definitely has to be very committed through some of these chicanes, and that was very committed on the inside. Almost wanted to go into the wall then. But Kadam here, coming around the final corner, goes on a decent lap there behind Litz, but he gets ahead of Skillstan, only 8 tenths off in the end of it. Great lap there from the Williams driver to get him up just over the top 10. Fernick here also looking like he's on a lap right now. A few tenths up, I will definitely need more than that if he wants to try and get to CJ Drama. I don't believe he's going to be able to. At the very minimum, he's at least not last on the grid. There we go, we also have someone joining at least. Jalen in the end manages to get himself in the lobby. Not sure who else going to be able to make it here. I think Colpillar also does want an invite, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get it in time. Ooh, Fernick there. It validates round the final corner, so he's not going to go any quicker. Litz also, I believe, is on a lap, but I don't know how much quicker he's going to go in this one. Jalen finds himself in the session. Actually, we're going to watch Litz, I think. Or where is Josh? Oh, no, no, Josh is doing 2 out laps. We're going to watch Litz here, actually, for a minute. Hold on a minute. Give me 1 second, guys, actually. We're trying to get Cold Pillow in really quickly. I'm not sure the time that Litz is on, but let's see. I don't know if we're going to be able to get Cold Pillow in the end of this. Anyway, if we can't get him in, we'll just quickly watch Litz's lap. Right, anyway, yeah, giving him everything he needed, all the instructions, but yeah, Litz now, round the final few corners, let's see what he's able to do. Not much ERS left, but I don't think he really matters now. Absolutely sensible in the final few corners. Does a little touch of the World of Champions, but definitely doesn't explode his tyres. Nice lap from him, 2 tenths, I think that's really what he wanted. Who else is here now? Josh, trying to navigate a few of the back markers here. Quite a lot of people signing laps quite close to each other. I think Rio Harris there, I think that was 3 tenths up in the middle sector. Let's watch him now. Will he get a slight stream off that McLaren, or is that McLaren on a lap? I don't know. Will he be able to actually get out of the way here, this McLaren? It's damn close, but Rio Harris just manages to navigate it. Let's see now for the final chicane. He invalidates. Oh, unfortunate for Rio Harris. So unfortunate. That would have been a pole lap as well. 1:08.9. He's going to be fuming with himself. Josh also a 10th down. He's not able to improve currently. Pablos also on an invalid lap. D-Move, I don't know if he's improving at the moment. Blackbone 3 tenths up in the first sector alone. He is going crazy quick out there at the moment. And only a 10.5 in it for that pole lap. Let's see if he can get it. But we're just going to watch D-Move now. He's 800s up. Going into these final 2 corners. He's absolutely sending it there. That was almost perfect from the Williams driver. Let's see it now across the line. Will it be pole? It's a 1:08.8. That is an amazing final sector from Demu, but Blackbone is also one to challenge it. Pablos goes into the pits. He's going to stay 4th, but will it be 5th as Blackbone is going to come across the line soon? He's going to make sure not to invalidate. Does that nicely. Touching the World of Champions. Blackbone to the line. In the Red Bull. Blackbone gets pole by 0.02 of a second to D-Move. These two were so close to each other last season in the championship, and they are back on the front row together. Wisburn may have something to say about it though. What will he do as he comes across the line? Wisburn to the line, and he goes P6, but he's only about 10th and a bit off P3, so it's good omens for him when it goes to the final few laps of the race, most likely, knowing the DRS trains in this game. But that is a sensational bit from Blackbone and D-Move, really. Both of them 3 tenths ahead of the field. We see that it was so close out as well. But look at that pole position for Blackbone for the second time this season. Let's see if he's able to convert it into a win, unlike his time in Monza. We do also really want a Blackbone win at this point, at least for his sake, because my goodness me, he's not had a great season so far. Only 13th in the championship and 17 points isn't really going to cut it if he wants to go and fight for higher positions. But a win here could change all of that. Brilliant stuff. Blackburn thinking it was an awful lap, and I did say at least he was able to have the time to remedy what happened with Kadon. But anyway, let's quickly run through this grid as we haven't got many to run through, unfortunately. Blackburn on pole with Demu alongside him on the front row. Josh, Jeremy Saff there, another impressive qualifying from him in P4. Pablos in the top 5 as well. Wisburn and Rio Harris are 2 race winners, start 6th and 7th. In this race. Litz pretty solidly in the midfield there in P8. Skillsam P9, Kadon P10, Hazard P11, Henson P12, Cheetah Jarman P13, Furnek P14, and the 2 to not set laps, Jalen and Jimmy Jags. Jimmy Jags crashing out that session and Jalen joining too late to set that lap. Wow. Brilliant qualifying to start with, and I don't know if it's raining initially or it's going to rain a little bit later on in this session, but we're just going to wait and see on that one. 16 drivers now, so at least one driver improvement there. Let's wait and see. No rain currently, so it's not going to be now. It might be midway through this race, might be late on in this race. It might not happen at all because this is on approximate. So we're just going to have to wait and see if there is rain, and will drivers try and do their strategies accordingly? Will we see just the hard tyres on most drivers because the rain is just that far away and we just want to make it to the rain? We do not know. Will we see 2 stops, double mediums, for example, a medium soft, maybe then make it to the rain? Or will there be just no rain at all? We'll never know, and the drivers will not know that either. And we're just going to have to get ready for the 5 red lights that go out in a few moments' time. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 5. Apparently, we're going to wait for them now. And it's lights out, and we're underway for round 4. Apparently, it's dry, wet, dry for the things there. Henson only just alerting me. Blackburn, though, holds leads turn 1. Looks like Jeremy Saff trying to go round the outside and keep his position on Pablos. Pablos trying to get it back from him. Wisburn looking like he's side by side with Rio Harris here. Let's watch these two as they try and lead space for each other. Wisburn does successfully get ahead. Hazard looks like he's got ahead of Litz there. Oh no, they're side by side. Really nice stuff there through the chicane. And all this bit at the back is a big cluster. Let's see if everyone's going to go for a move into here. Looks like Kadon tries sending on the inside of Litz. Definitely a bit of contact there. Sapra Henson, there's quite a bit of contact there. And that CJ drama round. I think there was so many cars there in such a tight space. But at the moment, Litz not having a great start whatsoever. And Kadon, after that send, I think has initiated a bit of contact there. But let's see any other bits and moves being made up the field. Looks like Jeremy Sapp trying to go on the inside there of Josh. And Josh does leave in the space accordingly. But Josh gets some really nice traction out of that exit. Looks like Kadon in the wars again there as he tries to get past Litz. And Litz not having fun on them hard tyres currently, as he's now down to P11 from P8 on the grid, I believe. Let's have a look at the position changes. Top 7 do remain the same. Skillsan and Hazard up 2. Jalen up 4. Lovely stuff from him so far. I don't know if he even was able to put it on the setup, but he's doing great right now. Blackburn also fastest lap on them hard tyres, so that's going to be interesting. Wisburn and Pablos also side by side. Bit of contact there. That's a bit rude from both of them, but they do manage to keep it. Josh also looks like he made a mistake there, and he's now down to P7. He was P3 at the start of that, but he's now in 7th, and the top 2 have broken DRS. That is big if this is a wet, dry, wet race. No, dry, wet, dry race, sorry, not wet, dry, wet. But yeah, big stuff already if that's going to be the case. Jeremy Sapp using all his battery, trying to get back up there. Litz also down fighting with Jimmy Jags, and I think the hard tyres, they don't look like the ones to be on for the people lower down the field. Jeremy Sapp at least getting the benefit of the extra grip on their medium tyres, trying to catch up once again. But yeah, I told you, very split strategies here. No one on the soft tyres, but this is realistically what we want to see here. Hard and medium being used in a pretty much a checkerboard for most of this grid. I believe 1, 2, 3. God, I can't even count the amount that's being used here. But Demu, some brilliant closing speed there on Blackburn. Will he try and make a move into turn 1 here? He turns on the battery, Blackburn does not. Dimu decides not to as well. Kadom also getting a penalty already. That's only just started to turn lap 3 for him. So he's not going to be enjoying this race. At least for the rest of it. Jeremy Sapp also with the fastest lap on the medium tyres. Benefiting with the DRS that he got into Sector 3. Looks like the rest of the people behind, though, starting just to warm up a bit in this race again. CA Drama also getting a penalty for his efforts there, unfortunately for him. But so far, out in front, Jalen also getting a 3-second penalty. A load of people picking up warnings early here, probably trying to avoid the early few laps where everyone is just so close together, but it's really hard to try and do that. Blackburn has to try and fend off D-Move there, but he doesn't even blink at his fake move. But I think he's going to have to do a bit more of that. A bit more of a defence once he gets this straight. But would he even offer it here? Because Jeremy Saff, look at this, is right on the back of both of them. Maybe Jeremy Saff could do a 2 for 2 here. No. Virtual safety car as CJ Drama, I believe, lost his wing, and that is him. At least everyone's to recover there. But let's see. Doubt anyone's going to get into the pits at all, I think. Don't think anyone really try and go for hard tyres at the end or something ridiculous. But yeah, it looks like everyone here is just going to stay out unless someone is going to try and do an audacious hard to the end and doesn't believe the rain's coming. But yeah, no one does. Senior Drama will need to bring his car back to the pits. But that was a short burst safety car, and that is going again. Henson also picked up a 3-second penalty at some point. I'm not sure when that happened, but it did. And look at this, so top 7. Currently in a big train here. Top Skills Dan and Hazard trying to hatch onto the back of this train, but they're just not able to currently. But Hazard actually doing an alright race here. All things considered, he's been pretty on the pace of Skills Dan in these first few laps on their medium tyres. Litz getting a penalty as well for his warnings. That's 6... No. I thought it was 6 seconds for a minute. Fernay also getting a 3-second penalty. So everyone lower down the field, not enjoying themselves. Looks like Jeremy Saff also made a bit of a mistake there. He's ghosted. And Pavlos doing his best to try and go on the inside of the ghosted car. But no, Jeremy Saff just pulls ahead with his medium tyres. Maybe I'm assuming Jeremy Saff just had some sort of mistake or the like, and don't want to have them come into blows down the straight here. Otherwise that'll be a massive crash. Looks like D-Move also going for the move into the final corner, and he does get it, but that's a 3-second penalty. It's so early with some of these penalties already. It's so early, this is. You got to think, only 5 laps into the race now. Out of 35 laps, and they're already getting these warnings. We're just going to actually double check on these warnings so far. I might be missing out on something here, but look at that. 3 warnings on the first lap for D-Move. He was pushing it. Blackbone 2. 3 warnings apparently. Jeremy Safford warning. 3 warnings to Pablos. So many people with warnings on the first lap or 2. Maybe just getting used to the higher fuel loads, maybe. But that's just ridiculous to think, really. So many people in the first few spots getting so many penalties on them first few laps. Jimmy getting a penalty. Jalen getting another penalty. Track limits here are just getting thrown out the window. And I guess rightly so, to be honest. This track is very hard to keep within the white lines. And it's honestly, I mean, it may look quite easy to do. But for 35 laps of flat out pushing, even on this sort of set of tyres and these sort of high fuel loads where you're trying to encourage me driving slower, it's hard. It's really difficult for these drivers to do. But what's not difficult at the moment, at least for them, is to make some easy moves. Hazard there also passed Skills Dan. So the Alpine duo probably trying to work together here to get back into the fight here. But they're losing a bit of time right now. Wizard faking it to the outside, goes to the inside, manages to get it slowed down. Fair play to Pablos also for leaving the space. Brilliant stuff there. Jalen also decides coming into the pits and retiring is the way to go. Already with 6 seconds on the first few laps, so I don't really blame him. But yeah, unfortunately they're going into the lobby with pretty much no practice or laps, and I guess that is what we really get there. Jalen leaving the session now, and Kadom getting another penalty, so it's just crazy stuff here. Henson almost just leaves him enough space as well as he's trying to fight with that B carb in his hands. Josh now getting a penalty. Oh! Jeremy Saff round! And unfortunate again for him, and that's a wing broken too. He's trying to find a way to get back onto the track. He's disqualified as well. Jeremy Saff, I don't know what to say. He's been having some great qualifying sessions, but these little incidents are ruining it completely for the Haas driver. I don't understand. It keeps happening. Each race, he gets some great qualifying results, has that mistake early on, and unfortunately for him, he's just out of it now. He's completely out of it, disqualified even. So just really unfortunate. That's all I'm going to say. Just so unfortunate in this race to be having that type of issue. But yeah, 6 or 7 becomes 6 at the front now. But well, I mean, obviously 6 cars at the front, still bloody good for me. Skills down. Also, they got past Hazard there. I think Hazard, yeah, made a mistake. He's dropped back a second and a half now, and Kadom is now the one very close to him. Jimmy Jag also had an issue there, but I don't think I see anything on his thing on his car that indicates any damage. But yeah, wondering when this rain is going to hit. Actually, big point here. Obviously, dry, wet, dry does sound like a very enticing race, but we're already on lap 7. No sign of the clouds really getting darker at the moment. No sign of the clouds really getting more, or get there, multiplying really. But yeah, no, D-Move making the move here onto lap 8, and we're going to get well, change of lead already done there. Blackburn, I don't think we'll go and try and do it again. D-Move already has the DRS, sets the fastest lap of the race as well, actually. So even though he may not be always in the white lines, yeah, he's definitely still quick. And Blackburn also having a bit of a snap there, even on the hard tyres. Obviously less grip, but like even when they try and manage them, they are an absolute handful so far. Jimmy Jags also a penalty here. If these are the sort of things that people are getting to dry here, I cannot imagine what it may be like when it's slippery and what it may be like when it's on the inch conditions. Who knows? Or when it's even drying up. We don't know what's going to happen in this race. The rain might not come at all, and we might all look stupid. But we're just going to have to wait and see, really. Blackburn there, now he gets a penalty. Yellow flag, 6-1. Once again, I think Jimmy, yeah, having issues there. That is not the speed he should be going normally. Pablos, I think, also had an issue, as he's now 1.6 behind these guys. So, well, I was going to say 7 becomes 6, 6 become 3 at the front here. And realistically, 3 become 1, as D-Move and Blackburn just fighting over second and third, really, at least on the net positions, as Wisburn is technically the lead right now. But yeah, Blackburn on track is the leader here, as Rio Harris gets past Pablos, and he's going to try and set his sights on getting DRS back to Wisburn, and assuming he made a mistake, I do not know. But yeah, obviously purple final sector, but 1.3 seconds off. Definitely should have made some sort of mistake at some point. Yeah, interestingly enough, things are settling down a little bit. Hazard and Henson trying to fight again. Rio Harris hits a penalty as well. Literally, Jimmy gets another penalty. Is that 9 seconds now for Jimmy? Yes, it is. He's not having a fun time out there, but look at this. 4 drivers that is now? 4 drivers by lap 9 without penalty. Like, I will literally show you this. Risburn, one of them. 2 warnings already. Pavlovic is another one. Wait, is Pavlos another one? I do not know. I don't even know. Yeah, he's got 4 warnings apparently, but he's not got that penalty yet. Jimmy Jags, okay, he actually had a complete stop there. And that is it, yeah. Beached by the side of the track, trying to get his car back going again, but that is also some damage on that Haas car, and he is just not able to get that going. Turn, oh god, trying to think of that turn now. Turn 4 is actually a decent tricky corner, usually for warnings, but I guess if you do clip the grass on the left hand side, it's quite easy to spin your car around, just trying to turn right into it. But yeah, interesting from Jimmy Jags there. Still in the race, still wanting to carry on, even though he's got that wing damage and a nice penalty. So, yeah, unfortunate, but he moves on regardless there. And he is still headed to the drama, if that gives him anything to be happy about. Jimmy Jags is trying to manoeuvre his way here around the final few corners, wanting to get back into the pits, I assume. Maybe wanting to retire, or just wanting to stick it out and hoping for that safety car chance. Anyway, though, Blackburn, D-Move, Wisburn, Rio Harris, Pablos, and Josh are now all back in DRS range of each other. Skills down, looks like he's breaking away a tiny bit there from Mark Henson, but he did have a big issue there. Jimmy Jags deciding to continue on with the wing damage. Looks pretty bad, so I'm surprised by that, but I guess probably wanting to avoid being lapped, as that would definitely ruin his chances if he won the safety car. So I think probably staying out is the wise thing to do if he just wants a safety car anyway. But yeah, let's look now. D-Move going to make the move on Blackburn here. Easy stuff as you go into the final corner. Making sure not to pick up any more warnings. Well, as I say that, Blackburn. Okay, I did not think he'd lose it like that, but Blackburn is round and with damage as well, similar to Jimmy Jags. That is on the right-hand side. 4 at 5. Oh, God. 6 become 5 now. as Blackbone loses it and has damage. Jimmy Jags has got no penalty. He is just don't think he cares anymore. He's a bit stop behind in terms of penalties now. Oh, that looked like a bit of a cut there from Josh as well. I think he had a warning there too. Yeah, absolute chaos right now, Canada. I don't think many people are enjoying this track at all. But yeah, Kadom, another penalty as well. I do not think many people are liking this track now. I think we've got to start switching it up a little bit. I don't think these drivers will be very happy under in this race. Having to avoid these sort of curves of 35 laps. Jimmy Jags coming to the pits now. This probably should be a retirement now. 25 seconds of penalties, and I am correct there. The time up in the race with some damage too, and he is out of it. But yeah, 3 retirements so far. Jeremy South also leaves session there, so no points for the Haas team currently, but it is very hotly contested out the front here. The yellow flag just goes away as Wisburn has a chance now to take the lead from D-Move. It looks like he's going to get it on the inside, covers off the outside, makes sure there's no room for D-Move to work with, and he does get into the lead pretty damn easily there. Let's just quick look at tyres again. Interestingly enough, Wisburn, the only one in the top 5 currently on them medium compounder tyres. Blackburn comes into the pits, change his wing, and fits on a set of mediums, so maybe he wants to try and reach them to the end of the race at this point. I don't know what his strategy really is at the moment, but he just needs to sort of survive at this rate, make sure he keeps his wing intact, and not get many more penalties from here. It's the easiest thing for him to do, and then maybe he can find his way back into a decent position by that point. Anyway, though, our Henson is the latest to get a 3-second penalty, and that leaves, or no, I was to say that leaves us 3 drivers. No, still has 4 drivers here without any penalties for now. Both Alpine drivers, or the 2 of them really, as our Henson is having to deal with that 6-second penalty. He's going to be dropping behind both of these 2 at the moment. They've been behind Litz, I think, as D-Move looks like he just made the move there on the DRS straight, past Wisburn. Easy stuff once again from him. Let's see, anyone else maybe trying to line up a move? Let's have a look. Rio Harris doesn't look like he's too interested in making a move just yet. And let's see, further down the field, any more moves trying to be made here. Skillsdown might try to have a go on our Henson, but he's very slow through that bit there. Now Hazard decides medium tyre wear is just that much, and he's calling it in now for the hard compounded tyres. So people may not believe in this rain, or the rain might be just very, very light, and people will not believe that's enough for intermediate tyres. But anyway, Hazard has gone for a pit stop and onto a set of dry tyres as well. Let's see, look at the clouds here. Still no real indication or just change at all. So I guess I can believe that there is some reason to be pitting for these dry tyres. It looks like Rio Harris really trying to bring a send down inside. Pavlos goes back to the outside, wanting to go for it. Rio Harris has a little bit of a grip loss there. Well, bit of ghosting as well going on here, but it looks like Pavlos is going to take the place regardless, as I think he was going to anyway. Look at this though, Wisburn and D-Move also fighting for the win. Ferneck there gets a penalty again, so he is not safe from getting more penalties now. Let's have a look at the rest of these guys. Looks like there's going to be no moves. Oh, Josh! Josh is out, surprisingly. Comes to the mix with tyres from P5. I don't know what's happened, but he's out from 5th on the 5th at the moment. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe some sort of emergency or something, but I thought there would be no reason for him to retire. Wow, he is 9th. Oh, and he's stuck in the pit lane. Oh, no. Okay, right, so I don't know if his car's going to be staying there, but at least good news is that Skills Dan, okay, his car is not there anymore at least. There was some absolute nightmares at some point where cars would be stuck in the pit lane and it actually would stop people from pitting. But yeah, Skills Dan gets out completely unharmed there, undercut by his teammate though, so maybe a tiny bit harmed in the process. Looks like Demu actually had a little bit of contact with Wisburn there. We're just going to watch from the back view of this Ferrari. Let's see any moves going to be made here. Looks like D-Move is just going to have that straight line speed and he's going to be able to get it. See the drama, picks up penalty as well, and he is still running in this race, but quite far back. But yeah, D-Move does make the move. Not really a great exit though. Wisburn going to try and fight it, but I think the DRS is just a bit too powerful here. Going to slot back into the slipstream. Look at this though. Pavlos down the inside. We're going to watch him in the back of Wisburn. Just enough space was left there on the inside, and Pavlos cannot make the move just yet, as Wisburn's medium tyres looks like probably starting to fade here now. I think the clouds are gathering just a bit more now. Looks like from here the clouds are definitely multiplying in the amount in the sky. Not too sure. Yeah, look at that. That's quite a lot of clouds over there. Definitely going to need a bit of a weather radar update from anyone if they can. But I doubt that's going to be the case. I think everyone's going to be doing this mid-race updating me. Be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. Pablos here also on the back of Wisburn. Would it be any sort of moves being made? I do not know. Let's have a look. Pablos does not think of a send just yet. Looks like Dimu there, also going a bit wide. Ooh, a little bit of contact there with Wisburn, but obviously don't think there's going to be any damage from that slight of a tap. At least in this game, very unlikely to get damage from that. But anyway, yeah, look at this. Wisburn, easy move there on the inside of Dimu. Will Pablos decide to go for it as well on this final corner? Looks like Litz also had a bit of an issue there. Oh, Wisburn! Okay, no, never mind. He comes to the pits. Okay, I thought he was going to have some big issues there, but he's into the pits off his medium tyres. Now Pablos, of all people, in the net lead of the race at the moment. So on them hard tyres, I don't know if there's going to be any rain coming still, but if there is, he's in a prime position to take the net race lead as Wisburn looks like he's going to come out maybe in P4, be quite close out between him and Kadom, as our heads, I think, also boxed at some point during the last few laps. Not too sure when he did. Oh no, he's coming in now. Didn't tell me. But yeah, we'll actually put that on none here. Hazard now getting a penalty, so that does now leave only 3 drivers without that penalty at the moment. One of the Alpines there with that penalty. Skills down. Would he actually get ahead of our Henson here? It'd be very close, but no, our Henson absolutely well ahead of them 2K. Almost having a bit of grip loss there. Lit's going to try and make the move, and he is going to make the move here. Make sure don't make contact there, guys. That was very close, but yeah, Rio Harris looks to be now on the back of D-move. Kadom gets non-penalty, but look at the speed for Rio Harris there. Will he go for 1 or 2? No, it looks like both were trying to back off there. Very little bit confusing, but trying to back off and just get the spots that they wanted. Both backed off, and then neither wanted to go back ahead again. So, yeah, Pablos keeps the lead, but maybe a bit of confusion there between these two. Wisburn also onto the hard tyres, so he's not going to do a double medium strategy just in case. I'm assuming it doesn't rain, but the clouds are gathering still, so we're just going to wait out for it, really. You can do a hard to intermediate stint, just so you are all aware. It has to be 2 different tyre compounds, so you can do intermediates to hards or hard to intermediates. That works completely fine for this game, and obviously I guess it makes sense. You use 2 different tyre compounds. They can be wet or dry compounds, so intermediate to intermediate. That works in wet races, obviously, because you can't use 2 different tyre compounds if it only is ever 1 tyre compound, let's say. So at least for the dry, there's 3 options to choose from. But yeah, quick strategy explanation for you all, just in case you're a little bit lost on them. But anyway, at the moment, Pablos doing pretty damn nicely out in front. Maybe he was trying to break the DRS there, but he got close, just not enough, as Rio Harris is still in there for this final sector. Gets a double dose of DRS. Will Dimu try and make a move? Doesn't look like it. Will Pablos try and defend for Rio Harris? Doesn't look like it either. So top 3 at the moment, just sort of chilling with each other right now. Nothing too crazy going on. Wisburn also trying his best to catch up. He's a few hundreds up on his time, which, with all due respect, not really going to be enough at the moment. And a 10th.5 down as quickest. I think it's, even though Tyro is hitting Wisburn, I think it would be a lot better to stay in that DRS. And I think he's definitely fumbled a little bit with the strategy if the rain does come eventually. I'm not sure if it will, obviously, but it's getting a lot more overcast now. I mean, obviously still some clouds not covering the blue sky, but we are getting ever closer, I believe. Lap 18, so we are halfway through this race. I guess obviously meaning that pit stops will happen. Maybe try and make up the time that they would have lost, but the DRS I think is just too powerful around here that I don't think a tyre deficit will make up that much of it. But yeah, anyway, Rio Harris, let's see, will he make a move? No, decided to take the battery instead, actually. Obviously he's got a lot more battery there than Pablos. Pablos only on about 20%. Rio Harris may have tried hearing me then, getting on the battery there, but D-Move not doing anything else with that. CA Drama, I guess, on penalty, like, my goodness me. Jimmy Jags' record of 15 in this race turned 25, but that was mainly from speeding in the pit lane. Yeah, his record of 15 on track penalties looks like it's on the threat. Rio Harris gets another 3-second penalty here. So at the moment, I guess his strategy is just to stay out. Because otherwise, if he pits, he's going to be not only well behind Wisburn, if he catches up and passes him, he's got a gap 6 seconds to him. That's not happening at a track this close, and especially with the lead this close at the moment. So I think Rio Harris just needs to stay out and just do all he can. Maybe bridge to some rain, or maybe just wait for some sort of safety car, go on set softs. Anything like that, just to at least help his strategy. But obviously, safety car might not help him at all here, because obviously the pack is bunched up. Sorry, pack is bunched up, and then yeah, obviously 6-second penalty be a big impact to his race if everyone is right next to each other and the gaps are all closed back again. Yeah, not really much else to report on at the moment. Looks like Pablos getting close to, I believe that is here drama, as our Henson Hazard going for it. Really nice bit of racing here, close between them both. I think for 2 races, Pablos ends up in the lead. Yeah, crazy stuff. D-Move getting another penalty as well. So pretty crazy stuff so far. Pablos, Rio Harris, and D-Move, all 3 of them not boxing. What is this race? Mate, Pablos has not done too bad, to be honest with you. At the moment, he qualified P5, I believe, so good qualifying from him. And I think just one by one, challenges came and went. Blackburn, who started on pole, down in 7th at the moment. Josh also, who did qualify P3, did retire from the race. Jeremy Sapp qualified P4, retired from the race. Yeah, quite a few people just getting the short end of the stick here. Let's see, actually, is there going to be a move from D-Move here? No, decides against it. But yeah, Pablos driving a nice race so far, but obviously getting a little bit lucky, obviously, with the people who also DNF so far. But you just have to be in the race to win the race, really. So Pablos is doing a damn good job of that so far. Blackbone also passed Litz there, as I believe he wants to make up for his stop that he's made. Yeah, there we go, actually. Only half the people really have made stops. Yeah, Wisburn is one of the people to make stops, Exotic, so that is why he's far back. D Waters decides the rain is not coming. That's what he decides. Maybe it was past the rain cell that was on the predicted weather graphic that they get at the start of the race. So they might not believe it's coming. But look at the clouds. It's quite damn overcast, I would say. I would still watch out for some rain at this point. I'm not really seeing the blue sky anymore. There's a tiny bit I did see at the top there. But it's getting to a point where I feel like you might have to stick it out on the rain before it might hit, to be honest. It might still hit. Oh, look at that though. Kadon and Blackburn side by side. Kadon loses the car a bit too much, and that I believe is damage to him as well. So Kadon, I believe, yeah, with 20 laps of hard tyres, obviously going to be not without wear, and Kadon there going to have to now pit for a new fresh set of tyres, assuming mediums. Look at these two fight each other there. Further can see a drama getting a little bit argy-bargy down the straight here. Make sure none of these two crash, I hope. Maybe Furnek wants to try and make a send here? No. But, yeah, look at this now. Rio Harris and Pablos. I think Rio Harris actually sort of took him into the pit lane. I didn't see it fully, but he is ahead now of Pablos, so I believe he has. Interestingly enough, though, Wisburn continuing to put in some nice lap times. I just would have thought these two would have worked together more, to be honest with you. I'm not too sure what their tyre wear would have been, but if it was me, I'd have just kept going on these hard tyres. I really would have. But, yeah, looks like now they've both lost positions to D-Move as well. I feel like they could have just stayed out, maybe hoped for a block of rain that may eventually come in. But, obviously, I do not know the situation with the weather at this point. And it looks like at the moment, Wisburn looking to get another win after qualifying 6th. So, crazy stuff from him if he is able to do it. Let's get the gaps back up, actually. Did get rid of them for a second there, but yeah, back up for everybody else to see there now. The only hope that really these guys have is the fact they're on fresh medium tyres. They will be catching up to Wisburn like hell. They just got to make sure they don't fight too much with each other here. And look at this, though. Pablos practically pushing Rio Harris through this corner. Rio Harris looks like to turn on the battery here. Pablos is going to do the same. Maybe these two trying to work together just to get back onto Wisburn's tail. Yeah, Pablos going back in the slipstream there. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Both of them pass D-Move immediately. So maybe D-Move trying to play the long game, get back into the DRS of these two, just try and hold on to it. But these two really wanting to get these quick laps pumped in immediately, wanting to get onto the tail of Wisburn and see if anything happens by that point. Blackburn also trying to catch up, but with a 10-lap old medium, so he might need to come in again. I'm not sure what his tyre wear is, but that is pretty damn concerning, at least if it were me. Our Henson also looks like he's on the back of the Kadom here. These two have been having some lovely fights. Something to get out of the throttle there, our Henson. Deciding probably wants to go on the inside there. Kadom, ooh, contact there with our Henson. As I think Kadom, yeah, he does have damage to that car, so I think he's stayed. Yeah, oh god, damage on both end plates there. So he's going to have real big trouble trying to stop and turn the car. So obviously going to be warranting some of the collisions that are going to happen here. Kadom just trying his best to stay out for anything at this point. Safety car, any sort of rain, just anything that will make him box for a reason, then he will do it. But the wing damage, I feel like, is a reason enough at the moment, and he's just losing time on time to people around him. Almost like DRS there of Hazard. And Pablos swaps with Rio Harris once again. Look like Dimu also in the rearview mirror there, I think. I just saw that. Wanting to go for a move, but he backed out last minute. Look at these two though. Setting fastest laps, I think it was Pablos, then Dimu, or maybe it was Rio Harris and Dimu. One of the two. But yeah, both going quick as anything out there. Hazard also wanting to try and make a move on Kadom if he can. Maybe he needs to wait for a corner or two more. Once the downforce of that car in the Williams kicks in, he doesn't have much battery to his name now. Hazard does have a bit more for him. Kadom going to cover the inside, do the same thing here. Goes to the outside, maybe a little bit late there. Hazard onto the grass, but it looks like he's going to get just the right amount of downforce here. A little bit of contact again, but I think he's going to get it on exit. It's very close between the two. Will Kadom hold this one, or will he just go back out of it? Looks like he just backed out of it there, as he does not have the grip and the mechanical downforce there, obviously, with half a wing to go and deal with the issue that's at hand with Hazard overtaking him. Skills down also, shout out to him really, even though he may not be having the best pace of his life, he is one of the three drivers at the moment without a penalty. Wisburn and Pablos here, two at the front, also without a penalty, but these two are going to be interchanging at any moment now. Pablos just setting the track alight really, 11.2. Fast lap of the race as well, so Pablos really going for it. Building on his driver of the day, voted driver of the day by everyone in our Discord server for the last race around Portugal. Really nice comeback drive from him, and it might happen again here, as it looks like Hazard there on the inside. Oh no, Skills down, sorry, on the inside of Kadom. Kadom has to cut the chicane, but Skills down makes the move a lot more swiftly than Hazard there. D-move also still on the back of these two. Wisburn is now getting caught. He's got a little bit of a slide there on his hard tyres. You can tell they're getting a little bit more worn. Obviously not more worn than Litz at the moment. And Henson also struggling quite a bit there actually. No rain currently, but it is getting quite damn dark out there. So I'm assuming if there's going to be rain, it'll be in the next few laps by this point. Is that also CEO Jama? Yeah, CEO Jama needs to get out of the way eventually. Otherwise he's going to get a few angry messages coming towards his way about needing to be lapped, and here we go. Looks like it's going to happen here. Wisburn, I mean, at least trying to get something out of it, but obviously when the car is ghosted, nothing's going to happen. Rio Harris, 10.6, 6 cents quicker than what Pablos was able to do last time. Oh, and okay, well that's a way of getting out of the way. For CJ Drama, I think he's lost a bit of his end plate there. Oh, he's damaged probably the rear wing there too. And then here's his closest rival to him, Fernet, going right past. So at least those two are having a nice battle there. Let's see. Does CJ Drama any damage to that rear wing? Because that is impressive if he does not. That is really impressive. By the looks of things, looks like the rear is holding pretty well actually. So he might not have damage. Crazy stuff. But anyway, yeah. This is the fight for the lead. Rio Harris, obviously with quite a few penalties, so he might not be able to get all of them removed, and obviously might not be able to get the win overall. But he might be able to get first place on track, and he might be able to help Pablos out with this, as he's the only one without penalties at the moment. Pablos might not need any helping. He just might need to keep it on the track and just do his best to do exactly that for the rest of the race. Looks like though Rio Harris on the inside will be close to the braking zone, but Rio Harris takes the lead on track here. Wisburn attempting to come back at him, but he does know he needs to save his battery. Pablos, though, trying to get the lead almost immediately. He thinks about a send there, was trying it. Yellow flag as well. Behind Litz, having issues on his hard tyres. And that moves our Henson up. And Hazard, I think, also is going to move up here, as with Skills Dan, if he can get it back on the track. Yeah, no, Litz struggling. The only one, actually, to not be pitting from this race so far. Fernek there onto a set of Intermediate tyres. I think it's a bit too early for that one, trying to undercut the rain. But oh my goodness me, actually, hold on a minute. Pavlos just sails past Wisburn in the mid part of the track, sector 2. You do not see many moves there whatsoever. But his tyres, I believe, are just starting to fall off. And I think the cold conditions are really coming in now. If you wanted to stay out on a set of hard tyres, then it would have just been pure struggle by this point. You may have been able to do it, but high tyre wear, cold conditions, it is hard for you to get some grip on them tyres if that's the case. D-Move also needs to try and catch back up to these top 3 here if he wants to have any chance of trying to get a better place in this race. But yeah, Fernek here, yeah, way too early for the intermediates at the moment. Not even a drop of rain is falling as of now. It might start falling in the next few laps, and then it might be worth it. Who knows? Maybe that could be a risk taken by someone in the top 4 here. Maybe D-Move, who doesn't feel like he might be able to get anything more than the top 4. Maybe let's go for a set of intermediates if it starts raining. We do not know. Will it even rain? Who knows? Let's just wait and see. As, yeah, Rio Harris, Pavlos and Wisburn also within DRS each other. Blackbone here also deciding now it's time to come into the pits. He can't deal with the medium tyres any longer. The damage he got is just not worth it in the end. He's dropping 3 positions now. 4 positions maybe, depending on how quick Litz gets through, but I doubt that's going to happen. Yeah, no, not going to happen there. Henson, Hazard and Skills down all past him. And Blackbone is going now. Is that rain I'm seeing? No, that is rain I'm seeing on the cockpit of drivers now. Let's see, will Dimu maybe try and go for any sort of moves here now on the strategy? He has 6 extra penalties and he's got a 32-second gap behind. Will he just risk it and go for the intermediates, see if anything can happen with it? I do not know. Because obviously, there's not really much of a point to go and do anything here. Look at this though. Wisburn, Rio Harris, Pavlos going to take the lead now from Rio Harris. Pavlos takes the lead of the race on their medium tyres. Has Wisburn done the cards right? I do not know, really. On the hard tyres, he might be able to go and do something ridiculous here, but he's now past Pavlos. No, never mind. Pavlos gets a 3-second penalty. So Wisburn needs to stay within it and not get a penalty of his own, and he might be able to win this race. This is going to be bloody close. There's only 2 drivers now have not gotten penalties this whole time. Wisburn must be just desperate to stay in DRS now. He's not going to think of an alternate strategy. He's just going to copy what Pavlos and Rio Harris do. But look, the grip is fading and fading fast out there. D-Move, I feel like he should just go for intermediate tyres. He is going for 4th, regardless in this race. And I doubt these top 3 are going to make any more mistakes out in front. And I think D-Move should just go for it. If you're hearing me, lad, go for a set of intermediates. You've got nothing to lose, really. You have P4. You're going to keep P4 the whole time. You might as well try something different. Will he go and do it? We're just going to have to wait and see. That's the whole motto of this race. We're just having to wait and see. Pavlos with a very bad exit, though. And Rio Harris could take that back. And that could be quite crucial here. If Pavlos is just not able to keep him back on track, then it's going to be pretty bad if Rio Harris getting no penalty. I thought it was Pavlos again. But no, Rio Harris looks like he's going to drop out of, well, the top 3 now. So D-Move, never mind, probably isn't going to have it in the end. Yellow flag, sector 2 though. Phonek now round on the intermediate tyres. So when it does start raining, it does get slippy. But yeah, D-Move, I think, actually, by not boxing at the moment, he is currently on for a net podium. So if you do fall out of that, lad, might as well go for some soft tyres or intermediate tyres. I don't know. But yeah, Hazard into the pits. He's going to think about trying to get some intermediate tyres on. Let's wait and see how that goes. The track is getting wetter, but maybe, just maybe, it might work for him. He's got quite a bit to catch up to his teammate again, and Blackbone. But obviously, on the intermediate tyres, it would be nice to just go for a gamble. You are already down in some lower positions regardless. You might as well throw the dice, see how it goes. Back though to the lead of this race. Will anyone try and come in for the box here? Doesn't look like it. I'm surprised D-Move is now. Look, 3 seconds back. D-Move, mate, you might as well just go for it. You're 36 seconds clear now, and you're well over 3 seconds away. Who will gamble first at the top? I don't think anyone's going to at this one. They might just brave it out here. But like, look at the grip. I don't think there's much grip here. I don't think there's much grip at all. And Rio Harris, obviously with 9-second penalties, could be out. Definitely going to be out of chance for the win, but maybe not out of the chance for a podium here. D-Move trying his best to get back into it, but I just don't think he's got the grip for it. Look, almost 2 seconds down the first sector. Why is no one boxing for intermediate tyres up here? Look, D-Move just struggling on grip. Why are you not trying to box? Blackburn gets a penalty as well, but that is not going to affect his race. Henson comes in now. Actually, let's see. Hazard, let's have a look at him actually really quick. How quick is he going through these first few sectors? Actually, have a look. Let's go to Hazard on the race director here. What are his sector times in comparison to the drivers around him? 24.1, 23.8. The intermediate tyres are getting similar pace. 30.3 for Litz. What is Hazard going to do? 30.7. We're getting close to that crossover period. Henson decided to go for the intermediate tyres as well. Ahead of Litz currently, but he is just doing his best to hold it. Wisburn there doing his best to hold the car through these final few corners here. Wisburn should theoretically have this in the bag, but he's got to make sure that he does not exceed track limits once again. He is going to have to be pin perfect on these corners, making sure that he's able to keep within that 3 seconds of Pavlos, but also keep it out of any harm's way with the track limits. You can see that he's well away from the curbs. He does not want anything to do with them. And D-move here we go. He decided to come and gamble with it. And he is in the pit lane now. Let's actually get off of penalties now. We're going to go on to this bit. D-move just decided to go for a little bit of a risk here. He's going to have P4 anyway. Why not do it? Let's have a look now. Rio Harris still in the lead. He's got a big snap on him there, though. And Rio Harris is going to be susceptible to Pavlos down this straight. DRS, I believe, is still enabled. But look at this. Dimu already catching up like a few tenths at minimum here through this first sector. He was 20 seconds back, but it's now 21.6. He's going to be catching up rapidly and it will keep going. Yeah, all three of them might be finished, but 22-second gap is a big gap. And if this rain keeps coming down, then we just have to wait and see what happens. Rio Harris, though, in the lead still, obviously has got that 9-second penalty compared to Pavlos' 3-second penalty. Wisman, once again, just need to stay right there with the top three, and they should be all good here. 4.5 seconds over their quickest lap so far. It may not be dry enough for the intermediates to make enough of a inroad in the times, but we can tell lower down in the field here, Litz struggling. Henson has pulled away from him. We saw that those two were quite close to each other. And Hazard now is catching Litz. I can prove it, actually, if you want me to. Right here, let's go look at Hazard's last lap. Look at this, 1:16.8, 1:16.8. They are getting so evenly and closely matching lap times now. It is getting wetter and wetter out there. Fernet gets 3-second penalty, so nothing good's going to happen there. Rio Harris has broken DRS out in the front there to Pavlos. Will he maybe attempt to slow down, force some defence, but might just go and break away instead? Skill stand. The second last driver to receive a penalty in this race. Wisburn, the only driver not receiving a penalty so far. And that is the crucial thing in this race. No penalties may equal this win for Wisburn. Let's have a look. D-Move doing his best to send it around this track at the moment. He has gained a few seconds on this lap, but I just don't think it's going to be enough in the end. Yellow flag sector 1 though, I think that's CJ Jama, maybe a little bit round there. But look at this though, Wisburn right up close to Pavlos out. Pavlos, big snap, that's Wisburn, can be through most likely. Wisburn is through in the Ferrari. 6.5 seconds slower than their laps right now. 6.5. The rain is setting on the track now even more, you can see it. D-Move just needs his best final few laps of this race just to catch anything. He gets on 3-second penalty, but just the pace alone on them intermediate tyres are just what he needs. He's gained about, what, I think 3.5 seconds this lap. Let it keep pouring down, and Dimu still has a chance at the podium here. Pavlos struggling to find any form of grip out there. Wisburn too. Kadom gets the penalty. Pavlos still in the DRS currently on Wisburn at the moment, and it looks like Wisburn is we want to take the win here, as long as he can keep it on the track. We don't know what's going to happen now. Wisburn having some big issues with the rear tyres there. Obviously, the oldest tyres of the three here, as we have a look at it, 18-lap-old hards. That is near impossible to drive now, as Rio Harris also having some issues here. Ooh, big snap there as well, as we see D-Move now catching further and further. Pavlos almost falling out of DRS, only just got it down that straight. D-Move catching and catching, but it might not be enough by the end of this race. But this is some brilliant stuff for the end of it. If this happened 1 or 2 laps earlier, this would be amazing. Rio Harrison gets another penalty, 12 seconds out in front. D-Move might still have a chance of getting a P3 if he was able to absolutely hurry it up and send it on his final lap. We're just going to wait and see. If he's able to gain about a good 8 to 10 seconds, it's possible. It is possible. We've seen him go so much quicker already than the people out in front. As we do head to the final lap, Rio Harris, masterclass in penalties, according to Exotic. I do agree. 12 seconds is absolutely ridiculous, but he's not in the boat of Kadom at least. He has got a lot more penalties for him. Hazard also here on the back of Litz. I believe Litz is on. Yeah, Litz on the dry tyre, so he's not able to make any inroads. Skills Dan trying to catch Blackbone as well, but I don't think that one's going to happen. But Skills Dan doing his best, actually, keeping with him. Look at the traction difference, though. Hazard doing his best to get it. Not able to get it just then. Litz having that big snap, though, as the wheel spin kicks in. Hazard with the DRS and the overtake. He is passed and through. He's going to be up into P8 most likely, but Litz is still there. But he's just going to have to back out by the end of it. Let's go to the front of the field, though. I don't think anything else is going to happen here. Rio Harris has done his absolute best. We're just going to have to wait for these last few corners. What is going to happen here? Rio Harris should lose it to Wisburn here, but he has done a great race out on track. Gets another penalty for it. 15 seconds. D-Move might be in the fight for that final podium spot. But anyway, Rio Harris will come across the line, wins it on track, but Wisburn in the Ferrari is going to take the win here. And a very, very well-driven race of him. Pablos from P6, I believe, to P2. Brilliant drive from him. D-Move comes across the line. Will it be enough? It's not enough. Probably the penalties that he got as well really didn't affect him. But look at this. Blackbone's struggling on his softs. Look at this. Henson doing his best now to get back to it. Skills Dan having to defend from him. Blackbone trying to defend on the inside. Henson goes for the send. Blackbone's gone too deep. Henson coming through for P5. That is incredible stuff. And he's got the DRS as well. But no, he doesn't. DRS disabled on his final bit. Skills Dan and Blackbone having to do their absolute best to get up close to each other. Will either of them be able to make a move on each other here? Blackbone with no fuel, with no battery left. Will Skills Dan be able to do it? Come across the final few corners. They go a little bit deep, but Blackbone I think has nailed it a bit too badly on the exit there. Henson comes across the P5. Blackbone gets past by Skills Dan on the line, who takes fifth in the end. That is amazing racing. Henson loses out by just half a second. Hazard comes across the line. Will he be ahead of Litz? I do not know. He is in the end of it. Kadom struggling to get across the line there. And CJ Drama will be the one of the last to cross the line. In the end of it, that was an amazing race, an amazing last few laps there. Brilliant stuff from all the top three. I'm very glad Demon also followed my words and risked it. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely amazing. Driver of the day goes to Henson according to the game, and I think that's still a decent pick, but I think mine has to go probably to Pablos again. Obviously, with that penalty in the end of it, but he also drove a pretty nice race. Wisburn too. Brilliant race from him. Also another potential driver of the day candidate there. But let's have a look at it. Look at all these penalties. But Wisburn, the one who stood above the rest and takes the win here. The only one without penalties as well. And Pablos follows suit in P2. Rio Harris at least has P3 with the fastest lap in the end. But a bunch of penalties ruined his chance of taking the win in the but unfortunately for him, was able to get higher than P4. Skills Dan in P5 after the last bit of overtaking. Henson P6 with the double move on that chicane there. That was amazing to see, but unfortunately not able to stay ahead of Skills Dan by the end of it. Blackburn in P7, big struggle for him after taking pole, but he does at least get some more points on the board for his sake. Hazard P8, decent race from him. Not really seen too much from him, but he did good. Litz also stretched out the hard tyres as long as possible. Good race from him. Kane on P10, penalty masterclass, 18 seconds, but he finishes where he started. CJ Drum P11, struggles for him, as a certain Ferneck Doodle, but they both get points that they had. Josh, Jimmy Jags, Jalen, and Jeremy South all DNF from this race and could not get any points in the end of it. But that, my God, it may not be good in numbers, but that race had some absolutely amazing moves and battles. I enjoyed that so much. Let's just give you a small update on the Drivers' Championship, actually, if I believe everything else works here. Yeah, most of the things normal should work here. Right, let's go. So, Rio Harris inherits back the championship lead he lost from Tyler that round ago. And Wisburn now looks to be the closest competitor on 73 points. 81-73, 8 points to gap. It stays pretty much the same. But let's see now. Tyler, still in third at least on 61 points. D-Move, with the risk in the end, he has got 3 fourth places as his best results. So consistency is at least key for him. He's fourth in the championship. Josh, after that retirement, falls 2 places to fifth. Henson climbs back up as well. Obviously does not move in any places as he's still in P6, but he's close now to the top 4, 6 points away from D-Move in P4 and 2 points away from Josh in P5. Skill Stand in P7, Pavlos P8, and moving up 7 positions in the Drivers' Championship after all that. Blackburn moving up 4 to P9 and Exotic Swords, unfortunately for him, in P10. We're going to look at the team standings. Racing Bulls, brilliant race from them. 130 points now to McLaren, only scoring a few points in that race and having 95 in the end. Ferrari keep their third spot. Williams up 2, Sauber up 3, and Alpine up 3. All them big gainers. Aston Martin and Haas the biggest losers. Both of them down 4 in the end. So, that was a crazy race, and I enjoyed that thoroughly. But next time out, we are heading away from Canada and heading to Austria for the second half of this season. Only for 8 races, but so far it's been an absolute banger. And I hope you keep joining me, because I think there was quite a few people watching this time around, so thank you very much for that. I'm Mrs. Cookie. This has been BRL Round 4, brilliant race, and hopefully I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.